Hello everybody, welcome back to the Final Fantasy XIII walkthrough. We have just arrived in the Vile Peaks, and we're going to have to start out with one fight really quick, and then we will be able to go into the Crystarium and develop our characters a bit more.
Hey. Hey, wake up! You gotta wake up! Look!
Oh. Hey, slow down!
Ready!
Gotta keep you kids safe, right?
Alright, so it looks like we've got a group of 4 Pantherons here. Nothing to be too worried about. Yeah, this is actually a pretty quick fight.
Glad that's over.
Man, I'm beat. What? No break?
They're tracking us.
I know that, but we aren't soldiers. We don't have your kind of stamina.
You got enough to complain.
Oh, that's... You, forget it!
I think,
I'd stick with her if I were you.
later then.
Come on, let's get going.
Get going to where, exactly? The whole of Cocoon's against us. No matter how far we run, there's no escape. That Seath clock, it's still a ticking.
There's still time. You give up too easy, old man.
I'm not giving up. There are some things that you just can't change. A kid like you would not understand.
Yeah, I'm a kid. I don't understand.
Well, I guess we can be fugitives together. Oh. You ready?
Ready!
Hey.
Alright, so here the party splits up, and actually there isn't going to be any fights with Saz and Vanille. So, if either of those two are equipped with anything that you don't want on them, or you'd rather have on Lightning and Hope, I would unequip them now. And, yeah. There will be some switches here and there, where obviously we'll swap back and forth in between the two groups of characters that we've, well, I suppose technically if you count Snow, there's 3 groups of characters, but for the time being, we will be swapping between Vanille and Saz and Lightning and Hope. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. Here I just set up a couple of different paradigms. That's always pretty useful to do, or just generally a good idea. You're going to want to be able to swap to meet your needs. So for right here, like I said, there actually isn't going to be any fights with Saz and Vanille for the time being. We just end up, what is it? We cross this little, I don't know if this is this a bridge? I'm not sure what this is up here. If I'd actually run there. Oh, okay. So I forgot to go into the Caesarium. I meant to do that earlier, but we may as well go into it now. All right. So it looks like Saz's Ravager path is fairly straightforward, other than Overwhelm there, which is an amazing ability. Really, actually, to be honest, all of the abilities in each of the roles, you know, are all fairly useful, I would say. Get their Brave and Faith, Vigilance with the Synergist role there for Saz. Bravery and Faith are two of the really good buffs at the very beginning of the game. Those will definitely come in handy. So the great thing about Faith and Bravery is they raise your core stats without knocking down your target time. So what I mean by that is when target time is calculated for each battle, it's actually calculated at the beginning of combat, and it's only based on your character's main or your actual stats, and buffs aren't factored in. So, excuse me, when you buff your characters, then you kind of get increases to those stats, but you don't get a reduced target time. So very useful buffs. Alright, and here we've got, I don't know what this thing is, but...
End of the road.
But at least it's not the end of the line.
Oh, so I think that thing that rolled was what Lightning and Hope actually crawled over when they split off.
I think a big one's coming.
Whoa, we didn't disappoint this year. Wow.
You look dreamy, Farron. Wishing on fireworks, were you? And you call yourself a soldier? Ah.
Sorry, Lieutenant. But I really don't think guard duty is my calling, sir.
Well, lucky for you, your shift just ended. Pack it up and go home.
But, sir...
SciComm found something in the vestige nearby. They don't want the Guardian Corps here stepping on their toes. Huh. I'm sure you heard about the accident at the Uriday Gorge energy plant, and how it has the SciComm lads in a tizzy.
Yeah. More incident than accident. Something pulse-related.
You're taking tomorrow off?
Sir, for my birthday, sir. My sister, she insisted on it.
21, huh? Maybe it's a good time to send off that letter of recommendation for officer training.
Lieutenant.
You're past due for a promotion, Farron. Think of your sister, and your future, and, keep your nose out of trouble.
Out of SciComm business, you mean?
Yeah. Nothing good'll come of it. Nothing but grief. Whoa, look at that one! Whoa, whoa, ho!
How right you were, Lieutenant. Just you?
For now, I guess. Should we wait?
They'll catch up, eventually.
All right, so back to Lightning and Hope here. This is just a quick little, I wouldn't say tutorial, but little primer information on the, was that the Synergist role, I think? For the time being, I would definitely suggest getting your commando abilities up. I think I spent the most of my time with Lightning in her commando role, at the moment anyways. That will change up a bit here and there, but you know, for the most part, I would say get those abilities. And, all right, looks like we ran out of CP there. For the time being, too, you don't have to worry too much about your character's development now. That'll change too in a little bit, but later on, depending on the role and depending on the character, you can unlock like accessory slots, and I really like those. I typically aim to get the accessories unlocked for characters as early as I can. Those can really add to your combat ability, I suppose I'd say. You know, not only with main stats, but also, you know, there's tons of really good accessories in the game that do different things like, you know, auto protect and that sort of thing. So things like that have a kind of interesting way of affecting your combat, in that things like so perfect example there is auto protect, where you'll be taking less damage for a good portion of time. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't last forever, but basically, you know, your character starts out with the protect spell active, and then that means that they'll take less damage from enemies while that's up, and that also means less healing that you have to do, which means more time killing the enemies. So, you know, you can get different, I suppose, effectiveness out of your accessories. Here I want to point this out because I spent a ton of time here. This little area here is an interesting way to obtain more Aegisol. And so what you can do here is fight these two groups of enemies and then kind of go back the way that we came from, down that Y to, I guess, start to, or respawn these enemies here. And like I said earlier, this is a great place to farm it. The raid is the best you're going to get, you know, essentially in the game. Maybe at the very end where catalogs are available, it may be a little less. Oh, there you go. So there's one right there, Aegisol. But for the time being, I would say that this is a great time to just kind of chill and you know, fight those enemies over and over. Now, granted, I moved on here, but actually, so what I did here was I took this footage and then I saved at I think it's the next save point, and then actually I ended up redoing this and farming a bunch, because once you go to a certain point, you actually can't come back to this spot specifically. And I like this area for farming those Aegisol. So again, now, you know, you don't have to if you don't want to. You know, it's not the only place in the game that you're going to be able to get Aegisol, but for the time being, it's got the best rate to obtain it. And actually, if you do some different things like switching up your paradigms a little differently, namely, what you can do is set up one with Hope as a medic, and then Lightning as, you know, whichever. You can do Commando or Ravager, it doesn't really matter. But basically, if you just stop and wait for the enemies for a good, like, 10 seconds, Hope will keep you alive, and, you know, you'll kind of, I guess, more or less waste time. So that will bring your star rating down, and the farther down your rating is, the better off you will, or the better off it is to obtain shrouds. And again, so that's an interesting aspect to farming shrouds. You know, you actually want to have a bad rating, you know, again, in order to make those drop more frequently. So, you know, again, if this is what you want to do here, I would definitely kind of head back towards the starting area, or the starting spot in this little area here, and just respawn those enemies. I mean, namely, there's the Thexteran there alone, and then you've got... actually, you know, I don't know. You can kind of use this whole area if you really want. It's just really easy to... oh, is lightning going to eat it here? Oh, 6 HP. Wow, that was close. Boy, I lost my train of thought there. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Okay, so at the beginning of the area there's a single Thexteran alone, and then there's another Thexteran with 2 Pantherons, and those all go down fairly easily. They're you know, not too big of a deal. But I suppose now you could just kind of run around in this area too. I mean, my impression is it's you know, I don't think Aegisol is necessarily enemy specific. I think any of these enemies can drop it. I could be wrong on excuse me, I could be wrong on that, but as far as I could tell, any of these, you know, could drop it. So you know, if you like what these enemies drop, you know, instead of, or well, because you can get like you know, specifically from the pulse-work soldiers and the watch drones, you'll be able to get inorganic materials, which are great for leveling up your weapons and accessories later. Excuse me, jeez. Unfortunately, we can't do that yet, but eventually, but we will. That will, you know, that will come a time when we can start doing that. But here is your point of no return. So if you do want to farm here, don't jump down here. Technically, I think you can drop down to right here, but any farther than like right here, and you're, yeah, I think this is the spot. Oh, nope, I'm sorry, it's right there. So right where lightning did the front flip, that's the farthest you can go, and you won't be able to get back up from that point. So again, you know, if you want to farm that Aegisol up, farm it up there. You know, and if you've got some information maybe that I don't know about the other enemies in the area, I really just farmed the Thexterans and the Pantherons. So, you know, if you know better than me, just let me know.
Can we get through this way, you think? You know where you're going, right?
I've been here on missions before.
Missions? Nothing to do with the Purge, though.
The Purge is PSICOM's baby. Our military is split into 2 arms. The Public Security and Intelligence Command, known as PSICOM, and the Guardian Corps. I was Guardian Corps, Bodum Security Regiment.
Wait, but I don't get it. If you're not PSICOM, then why did you board the train?
For Sarah.
Join the end of the line! Attention, Purge deportees. Follow instructions and stay in your lines. Personal belongings will be returned upon arrival. Halt! Do not leave your lines! This is for your own safety! Huh? What's the GC doing here? This op's under PSICOM direction.
So direct me. Let me on. I want to be purged.
Only civs get purged. Sanctum staff and soldiers are exempt. Huh?
Then I quit.
Line up!
Excuse me. Hey, lady. What gives?
I volunteered.
Really? You don't look ready to go quiet into that good night.
You want quiet? You better take the next train.
Well, now I really want to see what you're up to.
I had to rescue Sarah before they transported the vestige to Pulse, and out of my reach. My only chance to save her was to join the Purge.
You're telling me you got on that train so you could save your sister? That's crazy. I could never do something like that.
It's not a question of can or can't. There are some things in life you just do.
Easy for someone like you to say. Lightning! She left me.
One, two, three. Ah, we go.
What are you up to? Hey! Wait up! Can't keep up with this girl.
All right, so just touching on a little bit of the story there. Lightning boarded the Purge train in order to try to save Sarah because the Pulse vestige was being transported back to Pulse. So that was apparently the idea there. I don't think I ever caught that. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but all right. Anyway, so here's the primer on what was that, Saboteur. So Vanille's got the Saboteur roll, which is pretty good stuff. It's a really good roll. Also, the primer there explains the three-way battles. So the three-way battles are pretty interesting because when you enter those battles, it seems to me anyway, you always get a preemptive, and then you kind of get to just choose which one you want to, or which enemies you want to single out first, and that's actually fairly important because if you're fighting a big group of one type of enemies and a smaller group of another, normally what happens is if you wipe out the smaller group of enemies, then the larger group of enemies will turn on you and attack. So you really do have to be careful on who you or what you decide to kill first. So that's actually fairly important, and I think somewhere in here I'll end up having to retry a battle because I kind of picked poorly. But anyways, all right. So looks like we've got our paradigm set up fairly well there. I have a ton of them now. All right, so here I think this is our first. Yeah, technically this is a three-way battle, so it's our characters, a Pulsework soldier, and then the watch drones. I would take out the watch drones first. Pulsework soldiers are extremely tanky, but the watch drones get fairly dangerous. It seems like after they've lived long enough, they will start to use an ability called yeah, there it is, Electro Kick. And if they stack that on one person, that can do a ton of damage. So here, actually, I would actually recommend taking out this watch drone last. Now that we're down to one, and I really should have stuck to the Pulsework soldier there. and let those two kind of duke it out, because the Pulsework Soldier here is extremely tanky. These things are actually very, obviously they're very tanky, but some of the
We got this, Vanille.
greater or better strategies in order to take them down is, number one, get them debuffed. So here we've got Deprotect and Deshell with the Saboteur roll. And then generally then what you're going to want to do though is to somehow maintain your stagger. It's tougher with only 2 characters, but with Saz and Vanille here, you can now. Oh, I'm trying to remember if he's. I don't think he's got Commando yet. So
Never seen a rig like this before. Here we go. Oh! Whoa! 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 I knew that would happen.
God, awesome! I knew that would happen. So, anyways, back to the Pulsework Soldiers. My opinion, the best way to handle those guys is start out with Saboteur. You know, get them debuffed. And the cool thing about Saboteur that isn't, or that it's important to know, is that it behaves kind of like Commandos in that it reduces the rate at which the stagger meter depletes. So, if you'll notice, if you try to start out with just a dual casting with these 2 characters, it's extremely, if not impossible, it's probably impossible to actually stagger a Pulsework Soldier, because as you can see here, the stagger meter just drops down way too fast.
Did you see that coming?
So that's some really important information to know really throughout the game, is kind of how that works. So again, you know, what you'll want to do is start out with the Saboteur and probably a Ravager. That's probably your best bet, actually, which I believe is called the Undermine paradigm. Sorry. And so what that's going to do for you is obtain or start that stagger meter off and make sure that it doesn't deplete too quickly. At that point, once you probably get 1 or maybe 2, probably best off to get 2 debuffs on it for the time being anyway. And once those 2 are on it, then you can swap to a dual casting to really drive up that stagger meter, and that should be enough to get it staggered. As you can see here, so now with just a dual casting, I'm not able to, you know, build that stagger meter up because it just falls right back down. So yeah, so that's oh, look at that, battle rating was terrible. Oh, I got a Fortisol though. Okay. So it looks like from this point, Aegisol may not be obtained in this area anymore. I do know, like I said earlier, with Lightning and Hope there, it's definitely obtainable for sure from those first 2 fights. I'm not sure about the, you know, the subsequent fights with the Watch drones or the single Pulsework Soldier. I don't know. I don't know if those shrouds are, you know, enemy specific. They don't seem to be, but again, I could be wrong on that too. So, anyways, you know, if it's something that you want to take care of, then, you know, again, make sure you take care of it before now.
Follow the old man's lead.
Okay, so this was a 3-way here, and what do we start out with? A pulse with, I think I ended up restarting this one. Yep, there Saz eats it. So that's what happens when you take down the Pulsework Soldier first.
Finally run out.
So obviously, bad choice of targets there. Normally I would consider cutting out a fight like this, but I think it's really good to show, you know, sometimes when battles go poorly. So let's try this again. Let's do it right this time. For this specific fight, I would say go for the Watch drones first, then the Fexterans. I think that's their names. Yeah, Fexterans. It looks like I'm gonna do it the exact opposite. I'm gonna do Fexterans first. I don't know that it actually really matters that much of those 2 enemy groups, which one you take out first. It's just important that you don't take out the Pulse Work Soldier first, because that, at that point, that's when they all go after you.
Leave it to me.
Looks like, okay, I'm doing a little buffing here. I don't know, that's not the worst idea, I suppose. The good thing about Saz and his buffing is when you're playing as Saz, you get to choose. Now, I just did it the lazy way, and I just did the auto, basically auto buffs. But you can actually really efficiently buff yourself if you do, you know, if you do it yourself. Obviously, that was not a good way to go about it. There was, well, just the way I handled it. That was not the best way. But let's see what our rating ends up being. Because obviously, I could have shaved off. Oh wow. Yeah, he's basically dead. So that was a pretty good choice of target order, I'd say. All right, so target time was 1 minute 33, and we did it in 1:11. So not too bad. I don't know. Probably could have done, again. We could have done it better, but. All right, black belts. Those are fairly nice. I think that's a 10% physical damage reduction. So those are fairly useful. And then here we've got a little switch.
Should do it. Huh? Oh! Piece of cake.
I don't know if I've mentioned this lately, but Saz is awesome. Alright, anyway, so what do we got here? 3 Thexterans and 2 Pulsework Soldiers. Alright, so for this one, I would say take down one of the Pulsework Soldiers first, and then work on the Thexterans, and then finish the last, or the second Pulsework Soldier last. I feel like that's a fairly decent way to go about it. Cry. The Thexterans do use an ability called War Cry, and that can actually be fairly dangerous. They do another. I know they do another ability later too. I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's just Bite. But Bite plus their bravery buff is brutal. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. I think it could. I don't know if it was one-shotting Hope. Now, granted, I don't have any HP boosting accessories on him, but earlier when I was using him with lightning, there he was getting wrecked by them, as well as lightning herself. Short of, I think she could survive it if she had full health, but missing any amount of health was extremely dangerous. So. Keep that in mind. So it's not that great of an idea to leave those for last, because again, as the battle goes on, they're more likely to cast that on themselves. So I guess just again, keep that in mind. It can be pretty rough. Alright, looks like we're almost done with this one, though. I think this is the last battle for this area, too, and then we will meet up with Hope, I believe it is. After poor Hope got left behind by lightning. Such a meanie. Alright. There we go. So that's that. Ooh, 3-star rating. Wow, I did pretty horribly, I guess.
We made it!
Where's Grumpy? Got left behind, huh?
Leave me alone.
Hey!
This is pointless. Can't keep up. Can't get home. It's over for me.
It's not over. We'll get you home.
I don't have one. Now that Mom is.
What about your dad?
Not making a wish, Hope?
Mom, you still believe in that kind of stuff? Wishing on fireworks? Really? That's for little kids.
Who are you calling kid?
You? What'd you wish for?
Oh, that next year, your father could come with us.
Why? It's better like this. We don't need him. That night, they found the Foul Sea in the boat of Vestige. The next day, soldiers sealed off the town, and we couldn't get back to Palom Polum. They forced us onto the train with everyone else. My mom, she was frantic. She wanted to get us home, so she tried to fight. She got tricked by Snow. He used her!
Let's get you home, okay? Your dad's gotta be worried.
Let him worry. Why should I care? He doesn't.
Any father cares.
Sass?
It's nothing. Forget it.
Come with me, okay?
This ought to do it. We've got time. We'll get you back home. Your dad'll be happy to see you.
All right, so now we've got Hope back with us, and it's not a bad idea to just adjust your paradigms the way you want them to. It looks like, you know, to be honest, I don't think Tri-Disaster is that great of a paradigm to start in, so I'm going to go with Smart Bomb because, you know, again, having that Saboteur in there it almost functions the same way a Commando will, so we'll slow our stagger meter decay rate. So I think that's a great one to start out as. You can always swap to Tri-Disaster later. That really drives up the chain gauge crazy high. So that's a good one to have as well. But I really do like this. Was it Smart Bomb? Did I say? That's a great one to have as your active paradigm. And hopefully here we'll be able to show that in action. This Pulsework Soldier here is extremely easy to get a preemptive strike on, so definitely wait until he turns around. There you go. And that'll just make this battle go that much more quick. But anyways, after this fight, we're just gonna save up and continue on with the. Yeah, here would have been a good time to swap to Tri-Disaster because Zenil isn't casting anything once she's got him fully debuffed. But anyways, you know, I got to cut the commentary here, so like, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. Hope these guides are helpful though, and hope you join me for more. All right, thanks for watching.